Market rebound. Why some stocks are looking past the Iran war. The US stock market isn't the only market that's rebounded to record highs. Stocks indexes in Taiwan, South Korea, and Japan have clinched fresh record in recent trading sessions, bouncing back after trembling in March. Asian countries are heavily reliant on oil import from the Middle East that have largely stalled since the Iran war, but the hit to their economies hasn't stopped their stock markets from surging in recent weeks. South Korea's benchmark Kospi index and Taiwan's TAIEX TAIEX index both hit a record high on Wednesday. Japan's benchmark Nikkei 225 hit a record high last week. Meanwhile, the S&P 500 and Nasdaq Composite in the US also both clinched record highs on Wednesday. The enthusiasm in Asia and the US market is largely thanks to the global AI boom. The AI-driven rally have shadowed some of the risk from the war with Iran. Semiconductor chips are in high demand because of the push to build the AI infrastructure, which has particularly benefited the market in Asia. By comparison, market in countries that don't have the same level of the exposure to AI like Europe hasn't seen these gains. Different regions have different potential tailwinds, but like the US, much of the Asia is poised to benefit from the AI capex cycle, said Daniel Skelly, head of the Morgan Stanley's Wealth Management Market Research and Strategy team. South Korea and Taiwan shine. The United States is the net energy exporter, while countries like Japan and South Korea are net energy importers. This means economies in Asia have felt more of the pain of higher oil prices. But in market, the AI hype is lifting stocks despite concerns about the higher energy cost and the potential hit to consumer spending and economic growth. South Korea is the global leader in semiconductor chips, and its stock market has surged. The Kospi gained nearly 76% in 2025, its best year since 1999, and is already up 75% so far this year. On Thursday, the surge sent the Korean equity market past Canada's to the world's seventh largest. Samsung Electronics soared this week to surpass $1 trillion in market value, the second Asian company after Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company known as TSMC to hit the milestone. Meanwhile, the Taiwan's TAIEX is up 16% since the war began. The TAIEX is up 42% this year. Taiwan in April became home to the world's sixth largest stock market, also surpassing Canada's market. Asian markets are reacting well to the latest piece Apple to end the chipmaker momentum. Jim Reed, head of the global macro research at Deutsche Bank, said in a note. The Strait of Hormuz effectively closed at the start of the March, choking off the fifth of the global oil supply. Japan's Nikkei 225 was down a sharp 13% by March 31st. But the index rebounded sharply just like US stocks, raising its war-related losses and hitting a record high on April 16. The Nikkei is up 1% since the war with Iran began and up 18% so far this year. Investors have leaned into optimism about the end to hostilities, but the swift rally also underscores the significance of the global AI rally. Artificial intelligence, semiconductor companies, and data center related companies account for about 50% of the weight of Japan's Nikkei 225, according to JP Morgan Chase. Investors have gone back to the compute of where they are seeing earnings being delivered and where the earnings being delivered. Each U.S. tech is an AI ecosystem, said Arun Sai, senior multi-asset strategist at Pictet Asset Management. Mixed bag for other global stocks. While markets in Asia continue to hit record, markets in Europe remain below their pre-Iran war levels. Similar to Asia, Europe is dependent on the Middle East for oil, but Europe has fewer tech and AI focused companies compared to the United States and Asia. That's part of the reason the region's market have yet to reclaim record highs. Germany's DAX is still down more than 1% since the war began and is roughly flat on the year. Europe's benchmark Stoxx 600 index is down nearly 2% since the war began, though it's up 5% this year. Meanwhile, the energy exporting countries in South America have gotten a boost from higher oil prices. Brazil's Bovespa index is roughly flat since the war with Iran began, but is up 16% this year. Asia doesn't have energy, but it has AI. Latin America doesn't have AI, but it has energy. Europe doesn't have much of the either. David Russell, head of the global market strategy at Trade Station, said.